Welcome to Sunshine Art and Drawing. I'm going to be doing a back to school haul. Here's a couple of pictures of all the items that I've hauled, but let's get started with the Aliexpress items. This is the first one, this highlighter here. It is like a weird splash shaped highlighter and little tiny colours for each end. It's really cute. It seems to be modelled off this little character here, which I think is quite adorable. It works really well. I've given it a test out and I just keep it in this because it's a weird shape and doesn't really fit in any kind of containers. So let's pop that to the side. My mum found these. They're just little set of cactuses and they're little pencil erasers. So I thought, oh, that's adorable. I'll add that to the haul and show you guys. I also ordered these multi-click pens, you know, the ones that, I don't know, if you're my age you might remember these from school. Now the first one I received from them was broken and it wouldn't screw together properly, so I contacted the shop and they sent me a replacement. So now I have a cute one. It works well. It's a Hello Kitty design. But the other part that I thought was cool is that these tubes are pretty much the same. So if I get the one that this bit is broken, I can put it on this one. And now I can swap it over to Disney princesses. So that's kind of cool. And it's one of those ones where you push it down until it clicks and stays down. Some of them just don't want to, like that. And then to release it, you press the button on the top and that pops it back up. And then it's just a regular ballpoint pen. So there's like a whole bunch of different colours, and then you just push that to pop it back up. So this guy is just, I think the plastic must have caught on the machine or something. It happens, and the seller, they were like really responsive and super nice. So for any of these ones, if I can find a link to the shop that I got them from, I will link it in the description down below. So if you're looking for some really cute Japanese or kawaii or any kind of design that you're looking for, you can get these little guys. I'm not even entirely sure why that comes off. Probably just so you can change the color of it or change the clip. But this one's all fluffy. It's like furry. And it's glued on, like the seam is here, and they've done a really good job gluing that seam because I haven't had it pick or peel, and the fluff doesn't come off. Like, it's not that annoying fluff that like leaves hair on everything. And it's kind of like it's like having a pet in your pencil case. You can just pretend like it's a little furry cat when you're having a bad day. And again, this one is like the same sort of thing. You click the little clickers down, and then when you're done, I think you can just use another one to pop it back up. Like the big ones, I've got a couple of those somewhere. I have a few more things from them. I was working a bit and trying to get some liners. So I'm going to be doing a video about this. This pen here that I've got clipped to it is from Aliexpress. And this one is a proper Sharpie one. They're the same pen. They've got a fine tip at this end and a more broad tip at that end. And I wanted to test them against each other, so look out for that for a future video, just to see sort of how they work. I had one of these Sharpie ones previously. You may have seen it pop up in a few recent videos, but it already ran out of ink. So I feel like the Sharpie one, that in there uses the same amount. So you're really not getting any more ink than, say, just buying a fine liner like this, because this is just a single tip. So this is a fine liner little liner, and that's what's at this end of these pens. It's like a little fine liner, and then that end is a regular Sharpie point. And I want to test them against each other, so that's why I've clipped it to it, so that they stay together. Pop them to the side. Another thing that I got was this here, and it might look kind of like a strange item. That's why I popped a pencil in it. Now, if you've ever used a garden hose, it works like a garden hose. You have to take this ring off. Sorry about my ring banging on the desk. And then you can use any short pencil, and I'll just show you as I love these pencils. I refuse to throw them away. It doesn't matter how short they get. So as you can see, here's a little collection of tiny short pencils and I'm flinging around. These aren't all of them. I have hundreds of these little short pencils. So say you've got a pencil that you've gotten down to here, it's getting a bit hard to hold because it's sort of this bit is starting to dig into your hand, like here. That can be really handy. As long as it fits in this tube, it will work. So it can work for pencils that are this long, but it'll also work for pencils that are super short, like this little orange one or this little yellow one. So I'll show you how it works. You just place the pencil in there and steady it a bit with your finger, and then you can slide this over the top. You screw this down and hold on to the end of the pencil so it doesn't slide down as you're doing that. You'll get used to this after a while, and then once you get kind of towards this bit where you're nearly done, this is where it starts to tighten around the pencil, so you want to adjust the pencil to the right length for this. So I'm going to go for about 1/2 centimeter from where the wood starts, and that's where I want it to kind of grab. And it does take a little bit to get it to grab your pencil if it wants to. Ooh, it slipped. See, these pencils are so tiny that you probably don't even need to take off the whole piece, but this is the part where it tightens, so you got to kind of use 2 hands and screw it in. But now that's very tightly held in there. You can use it, you can sharpen the pencil now, but it creates it so you can actually finish off using the pencil. I got some scrap paper over here I can show you. So it's really strong, like I'm pressing very hard, and also this way you can finish off using your colored pencils that you really like the color of, obviously because you've sharpened it down to a nub. But you can use them up and finish them off, and then you don't feel like you're wasting pencils. Super handy. It cost I think $1. And I've been looking for these in like regular stores, like Eckersley's and stuff like that. I've been looking for them for ages in there. They don't have them. Just such a simple little tool. I think it's more of like a drafting or like a tool that's for maybe technical drawing, architecture, things like that. So it's not a common tool that you see sort of around. But if you've got bunches of these little pencils, it's worth the $1 investment with free shipping. And that was an Australian dollar, so it'll probably be even cheaper in America. But great little tool, fantastic. So that's very helpful for any little short pencil stubs that you have. This here is my next thing. Now this might look a bit familiar. It seems to be a knockoff of a Lamy fountain pen. And the Lamy, I think Safari fountain pen, it's just a fountain pen pretty much, but it's a very fine nib. So you can draw very tiny. It doesn't really have any give to it, so it doesn't do thin and thick lines. It's really just a very small pen. Very handy. When I received this, it came with a screw filling. This here. So you can use this to pull ink up into the center here and then use that ink for your pen, and that fits inside there. But I have cartridges that fit in here, so I just put like a blue ink cartridge in it because it's just easier. And another ink-ish sort of thing that I got was, I think I've shown this pen before. It's a like a brush pen, but what I did is I bought some ink cartridges that fit it. Try not to drop them. And these are all different colors. So I put the purple one in, which was the top one, and it still hasn't stopped flowing. It's quite easy to draw with. You could sign your name if you're looking to. You could draw patterns, that sort of thing. So you end up with a really pretty colourful pen, and it's like a brush pen tip. Now the next video that I'm going to be working on, a bit of a sneak preview, is I'm going to be doing a redo on resin pencils. So I've got a few different ones, although two are big ones. I'm struggling to find other brands, and I wanted to get a few different brands so that it's fair. I might see if I can find one more resin branded pencil and we'll compare them all. So these are your Staedtler version. If you get the Noris color and you look for the ones that say, just trying to find it, I think it says down here, a Wopex. So this little symbol, Wopex, that means that these pencils are resin. So if you find a pack of these without this symbol, and you'll also find that the pack will be heavier and will cost more, they're going to be proper wood. So if you're paying $4 for a pack of pencils, they're likely going to be resin. If you're paying $6 or $7 for the Staedtler Noir pencils, then they're going to be the wood ones. So that's the easy way to tell. The packages look really similar, and the only difference I could find was this little symbol here, and that the price will be different. As well as I found, and it took me a bit, this pack of pencils I found when I bought these. They had the Circus version, which is like all of the tips are like colour, and these are resin pencils. The easiest way to find out is because if you have a look in the back, it says colouring pencils, wood-free resin pencil under the GB, which is, if you're ever looking on one of these European packs, GB stands for Great Britain. Great Britain will be English. And this one here I found in a different store, and it's just the plain version, so without all the weird custom colours. This is just like your standard set. So this is probably the most equivalent to this box. I tried to get something where the colours would be equivalent and that we could test it out and it will be a fair comparison. And I'll also see if I can find one more brand. If you've got any recommendations for resin pencil brands that I can get online at Amazon and aren't too crazy expensive, like I'm saying no more than probably about $5 to, you know, $10 a packet, then we'll give that a go as well and see if it's whether they actually are any good, because I want to give that a go. I've had a lot of pushback on that video, just people saying I really like those pencils, and like I can't disagree with the fact that the pencils are themselves nice. That's not the part that I was having trouble with. The part that I have trouble with is that the pencils themselves are not strong enough to support the lead inside the pencil. So if the lead inside the pencil snaps inside, you won't know until you go to sharpen it 20-30 times. And then this resin coating is really unforgiving on the fingers, so if you spend half an hour sharpening it, you will end up with blisters on your hands, and I had that happen. So a couple of things that I don't like about these pencils, but we will give them another go and give them a fair trial with some like quality branded ones plus some big ones and see how they go. Next part I wanted to show was these. So when I saw these lovely Texta brand, it made my sort of nostalgia go bing, because Texta, this is the reason why Australians call markers, which is what these are, we call them Textas because of this brand, because this is the brand of colouring in pencils and Textas we used to get as children. I have some permanent Textas, some old ones. I'll grab one now, but I'm planning on doing a bit more of an in-depth video about the Texta brand and having a test of these and seeing if they're the same as what I remember. Anyway, so these are all the things that I have hauled. I will pop them all back so you can see them. Thanks for watching this back to school haul. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Look out for some videos in the future on some of these cool art supplies. Thanks so much for watching. Have a sunshiny day.